Man, the first trailer for this movie is so cool. In fact, all three trailers for this movie are nothing short of spectacular. They tease this dark, mature story. I really wish we got that. Not that I'm unhappy with the final result, but they were marketing something completely different, and probably a lot better.
There are no strings on me.
Avengers Age of Ultron was written and directed by he who shall not be named, but I'll end up naming several times in this video when I find it relevant. And this movie serves as both a sequel to the first Avengers and a sequel to each of the Phase 2 films excluding Guardians of the Galaxy. But it also has one big issue. The worst thing that can happen to a movie. Studio interference. Joss Whedon and Marvel had differing ideas on where this film should go. Whedon wanted a more character-driven film. Scenes like the stuff on the Barton farm were the focus of the story to him, but the studio wanted setup for future movies. And this is something that did not work out so well last time they tried that. Whedon balanced it as best he could, but you can tell when you watch the film that there are two very different competing movies here. There is so much going on in this movie, it gives Iron Man 2 a run for its money on subplots. We get Ultron's plan for world domination, and Ultron's plan for his own evolution, Wanda and Pietro Maximoff, Tony's desire to protect Earth, that beyond stupid Hulk and Black Widow romance that I don't know why anyone decided to keep in the movie, a tease of Black Widow's past, set up for a future Hulk storyline, set up for Captain America Civil War, set up for Thor Ragnarok, set up for Black Panther, and set up for Avengers Infinity War. That's 11 plot lines. There's so much stuff in this movie that it has to take a giant break halfway through the film so that the characters can go to Ma and Pa Kent's farm just to do subplots. And it's actually funny how much of Age of Ultron doesn't have anything to do with Ultron. While writing the script for this video, I had an idea for how to make Avengers Age of Ultron perfect that I originally had intended to put in the end of this review, but it ended up being a lot bigger than I expected, so I split it into its own spin-off video that should be out in a bit. I'm not sure exactly what the release date's gonna be, but I want to get it out to you guys soon. So the movie we get is just all over the place, it's convoluted, it's one half character drama and one half Phase 3 setup, and that really hurts it. And its character moments are what work best for me. What Joss Whedon wanted to do in this movie, surprise, surprise, what the director wanted to do is what worked best for me in this movie. As long as it's nothing that involves the Banner and Natasha plotline. That was stupid. I hate every second of it. I don't know why anyone involved in the production of this movie ever stepped in to say anything. It should never have been here. But here's some of my favorite moments in this movie. The party scene in Avengers Tower, all of it. The party and the after party where they're trying to lift Mjolnir. The we'll lose, we'll do that together too line after Ultron kind of, leaves. Tony and Steve chopping wood on the farm. Ultron's first form confronting the Avengers after the party. Vision's birth. And the final conversation between Ultron and Vision, which, by the way, is one of my favorite scenes in the MCU. But let's talk about characters. Of the main group, not any of the new additions, I'm just talking the main 6 Avengers from the first movie, Captain America is the best by a relatively large margin. Whedon actually did something with him this time. He didn't screw him over like he did in the Avengers. And although I hate Thor's subplot about the Infinity Stones that exist purely to set up Ragnarok and Infinity War, I really liked Thor in this movie. But Tony Stark is a weird one. Because there's some scenes with Tony Stark where he acts so out of character that it feels like a completely different character. It can probably be boiled down to him having PTSD. I don't know because I don't have any experience with that. So I can't tell you if that's what it boils down to. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what Joss Whedon was going for with Tony Stark in this movie. But it was weird. I don't particularly like it. I've already said that I hate what happened to Hulk and Black Widow. And beyond that stupid subplot Neither of them are really important in this movie. They don't really do anything. Hulk's only redeeming aspect in this movie is the Hulkbuster fight. But that's something we have Wanda to thank for, who, by the way, is probably one of my favorite characters in this film. She has solid motives, she has an arc, she goes on a journey, she has this awesome scene with Hawkeye.
Doesn't matter what you did, what you were. But if you step out that door, you are an Avenger.
As opposed to her brother, who doesn't really get anything to do, is kind of a wet fart of a character and exists just to be a human shield. Keep in mind, he's faster than a bullet, and I'm not making this up. The movie shows that Pietro Maximoff, someone who was killed by being shot, and in fact the only two things he does in the finale is get shot, they go out of their way to show that he's faster than a bullet. Hawkeye, let's jump back to positives real quick. Hawkeye's much better in this movie. Not great, but at least we learn of his worth to the team. He does some stuff, he's not completely useless, and they made sure not to mind control him again, thankfully. And Vision. I have some stuff to say about Vision. To this day, Age of Ultron has my favorite on-screen Vision. I get that his arc shows him becoming more and more human, but the lines Joss Whedon wrote for Vision are far better than anything in Civil War or Infinity War. I'm not including WandaVision because that's kind of, Vision through Wanda's image, so that doesn't count, but I'm talking main Vision. Nothing he says in Civil War and Infinity War tops what he says in Age of Ultron.
Humans are odd. They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be. Maybe I am a monster. I don't think I'd know if I were one. And not what you are. And not what you intended.
Now we have one more character to talk about. God damn, they messed up Ultron so bad. This is the Ultron they marketed.
I'm gonna show you something beautiful. Everyone screaming for mercy. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. I was designed to save the world. People will look to the sky and see hope. I'll take that from them first.
This is the Ultron they teased in his first scene.
How could you be worthy? You're all killers. I'm sorry, I was asleep. Or I was a dream. And I was tangled in strings.
And this is the Ultron that we ended up getting.
People create smaller people. Children. I lost the word there.
Leave me alone! You know, with the benefit of hindsight.
Clearly, you've never made an omelet. I'm sure that's gonna be okay. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't understand.
Ultron quips. Why does Ultron quip? Don't say it's because he's created from Tony Stark, because that's not true. He's the isolated core of Loki's scepter uploaded into the internet and put into robots. This man can do anything. He could have modeled his personality after anyone, but he chose to model it after Tony Stark. Then he got upset when he was compared to Tony Stark. He quips, his voice cracks, he has mood swings, he forgets words, he loses his train of thought. I kind of get his plan though. I wouldn't say he's a great villain, but this man opened Twitter and immediately knew that humanity needed to go, and I feel that on like a very emotional level, so I get that. And I will say though, despite all the crappy stuff Ultron says and does, he does drop a really cool line every now and then.
When the earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it. You, Avengers, you are my meteor, my swift and terrible sword, and the earth will crack with the weight of your failure. Stark asked for a savior and settled for a slave.
And he cares for people. I think that was a cool character trait. I liked that bit of humanity to him, that he cares for people, and I wish they didn't try to add too much personality on top of that, but man, he really does care for Wanda a lot.
But if you stay here, you'll die.
But I've always wondered, what were Wanda and Pietro gonna do if Ultron's plan succeeded? Because his plan was to wipe out all of humanity, and there was no room for anyone on Earth besides robots. So, if he killed all of humanity, that would require killing Wanda and Pietro. And then he wonders why they betrayed him. So what was the goal there with Wanda and Pietro? And as I mentioned earlier, his final scene with Vision is one of my favorite scenes in the entire MCU. I love every single second of that conversation. It's a great conversation, and it has a great joke to cap it all off, but it's not a joke that takes away from the drama. It's a joke that fits within the context of the scene. Note to Marvel, I want more shit like this. This is good. But for the most part, I'm mostly disappointed with what they did with Ultron. But before I move on, I need to just shout out James Spader, who was absolute perfect casting. It's weird. Joss Whedon is good at juggling characters, but this crumbled. There's too many characters in this film. It feels way too full, which is funny because Infinity War juggled 24 Avengers better than this film handled 9 Avengers. It feels like there's way too many superheroes in the superhero team-up movie. I want to talk about something I love in this movie, and that is the action. There are a lot of action scenes in this film, and I don't think any of them are a weak link. And the Hulkbuster fight stands as my favorite. I love the first act. I love the third act. 90% of my problems with this movie reside in the second act, but the setup and the conclusions are both beyond stellar. I really like the banter between Cap and Stark. I actually think the Civil War setup is the setup in this movie that works the best because it feels natural with the story. This MCU film is my guilty pleasure. It has lots of problems, but I find it as one of the most entertaining and rewatchable MCU movies. I knew Whedon was going for a darker character drama, but I find this movie insanely fun. The highs are extremely high. The fights make me smile from ear to ear. Everything with Vision makes me feel like I need to go learn something. This is one of the movies that I look forward to rewatching most when I do my MCU rewatches about every year, year and a half. I am going to give Avengers Age of Ultron a C. Hey guys, I realized in editing that I totally forgot to make an outro for this review, and I felt like I should do something, so instead of doing your normal boring outro, we're gonna have a bit more fun with it. I want to give you guys a little update because I did mention in my Guardians of Galaxy review and earlier in this review that I am doing a video on how to make Avengers Age of Ultron perfect. So right here, I got the script all done. I like it, although I will say that's probably going to be a controversial video because people might not agree with some of the changes I would make, and I know there's a lot of die-hard Age of Ultron fans who will defend that movie to the grave. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but just know that this right here is probably bound to upset some people. I want to get it out to you guys. October 22nd is the release date I have right now, because before that we got Shang-Chi, which actually I guess will be out before. I'm recording this on August 28th, so Shang-Chi will be out before this review goes up, but just know that the videos I'm doing next is Shang-Chi, the rest of What If, Ant-Man, the Black Widow Blu-ray unboxing. So a lot of big things to do, like the What If ranking, the episodes ranked, the season 1 review, all that. And after the Ant-Man review, I want to take a bit of a break from doing multiple weekly uploads. I'm just going to stick to the regular just What Ifs. every week, unless something big comes out. So also, this video will take a lot of editing because it's a more ambitious video. So I'm gonna need more time for that. So I'm eyeing October 22nd for it. We'll see if that gets pushed up, but yeah, just felt like letting you guys know. That's the status of this big boy, which is one of 3 big videos I have in the works. I've mentioned the other 2, but I'll give more details on those when I'm closer to actually being able to release those or having an idea of when I'm going to put those out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you all next time.